Alright, welcome guys, this is Shadow Drake. Next stream, I guess. So we're gonna hear a lot of groaning and stuff. I'll probably turn that off. Phase change heat pumps, the Venus edition. Honestly, this is probably the when Silanol came out, this is actually what I was happy about. Just because Silanol actually can condense at Venusian temperatures. So I got a first little heat pump here. The goal was to see if it could cool down this tank of nitrogen down to 20 Celsius with just the quote basic setup that's basically the video. And from the sounds of all that groaning, I think it's saying, "You idiot, we can't do this because it's stuck at 300 Celsius with a single convection radiator." So yeah, it's struggling. It's struggling for sure. Good morning. So I guess what I'm going to try to do is see if I can make this better, because one of the things that I have a hard time, well, or that I can't say very well on a tutorial video is how to make this actually work and be better. Like I can give you this concept, and then I essentially left it for y'all to figure out so you can build experience on this thing. So I guess ask questions. I'll try to keep an eye on chat, answer them. Let's see. Where do I begin for this? Okay, so when you're making phase change heat pump, I guess you do need a control. What happened to my game? There we go. Stop lagging, game. Ah, I did it again. The whole mouse thing where I can't do the mouse thing. Ah! How do I fix that again? I hate it when it does that. Can I just leave and come back? I don't know why, but if I tab out sometimes, very rarely, I actually cannot control myself. So I have bad luck with things. I really have terrible luck with just about everything that I do. Just before I started, I was like, all right. I was talking to my pets. I'm like, all right, be nice. I'm gonna stream. Next thing I know, the cats start spatting, and this is not fixed. It's now okay. Never mind. Now it's fixed. Okay, the actual start. Yeah, and then one of the dogs puked, and I had to go clean that up. So go figure. Okay, so this is the basic phase change heat pump. I'm gonna try to stay on topic. We want to transfer heat from the evaporation side to the condensation side, and maybe I should just spawn paint so I can kind of color them a little bit better. So let's do red and blue. This is creative mode because it's easier to do a build in creative mode. So yeah, transferring from that end to that end. And I wanted to load it down with a single radiator, which right now is doing 8.5 kilojoules. The evaporation chamber heat exchange rate is 17.3, so I guess you can I don't know why this is double the rate. I guess that's per second. Again, that's really confusing how the game throws timings off. So I'm assuming that's 17.3 per second, so therefore that keeps up with 8.56. And it stayed about roughly stable temperatures, and it's struggling hard. Condensation side is also 17.6. So essentially the chamber is balanced. I have gases on the gas pipes, which is why you see the utility pipes, which means my condensation isn't pulling everything out. And I have one counterflow, which the poor little sucker is doing all that it can. 2.67, 28.4. So this is basically my control, which basically tells me I got a lot of improvements to do. A whole lot of improvements to do for this system. So from the experience that I work with these things, the gas is pooling here is a bad sign. It means I don't have enough condensation happening. The counterflow, let's see, the temperature change, 298 versus 400. Where is my calculator? I gotta have an actual calculator for myself. Calculator, 403 minus 298. So that's a 105 degree change. That's insane. That's practically almost the max range that Silanol can do. That's impressive. But from that, 403 minus 460, that means about 57 degrees. This is 57 degrees colder than I would like it to be, so that means the condensation doesn't. It has to do a little bit of extra. It gets cooled a little bit extra from this gas. On the liquid end, I'm coming out at 470 and only going down to 364. I think that's the same range. 470 minus 364. Yeah, about the same range. But 364, the lowest that could ever be is about 99 degrees for Silanol, so that's 265, and I'm at 300, so 265 minus 300, 35. About 35% of it is wasted on cooling itself before it even applies here. That's kind of bad. I'd like to tighten those numbers just because that's... ugh. It's rough. Alright, so again, the goal is going to be trying to get this ideally to 20 Celsius with a load. Not sure how much of a load I want to do because it's actually different. If I were to change this to a radiation radiator, see, the load is significantly smaller. It's about 2 kilojoules. And it's actually going to start cooling because it actually will work better. I'm actually curious to see whether this can get it down. So you know what? I'll leave it like that. One of the worst things about phase change is you don't really know what your system is doing until it settles. So I think I'm just going to leave this here, let it settle. So my numbers were basically 300 Celsius was where I was capped at, and now we're just going to take all this space and build a better system. Alright. I made the mistake as well. My Silanol, I spawned it in at 20 Celsius. That's a problem. I tried feeding some into that system, and that caused issues. Hey! Orbit timescale, no. No nighttime. Come back, sun. I don't want to build lights. Now stay. Okay. Phase change device. I think I'm going to need 3 this time. So we're going to try to reduplicate that effort. I'm going to try 2 condensers this time with a single evaporator, see how that works. So that actually worked out really well. The tank with the passive vent. I tried to just use utility pipes, and that did not work out well at all. So we're just gonna repeat that. Now I got some basic materials because I don't want to be spawning everything all the time. It's just kind of messy. And if I could actually use the correct tools, I could probably make things faster. Oh, come on. There we go. That's gonna be for Venus. If I need more volume, I'll add more volume, but I think, honestly, the 1 tank has been enough. Do I have a cal out here? Yes, I do. So this will be the simple part. Whee! Okay. Every now and then I'll check. Yeah. Yes, the goal is to cool stuff with the counterflows. Every now and then I'll check chat. That's where I pause, because I still don't have a second monitor. But yeah, several counterflows. So, one of the things, if I remember, was it J Kuba? Or See the Rhythm? I have to go back and look at the Discord. Someone, and I'm sorry I forgot your name, came up with the math, and it's roughly 125 divided by specific heat. That's how much moles of gas to allow the counterflow to do really, really well. Silanol is such a high specific heat that this counterflow is struggling because of that. So I guess what we're going to try to do is see what's a good amount, and I'm going to try to make this in such a way that I can expand the array of counterflows. I should have spawned more. Wait, I have an authoring tool. I'm slowly learning how to use this thing. So we'll put the other one there, and did I do that right? I don't think I did. I don't think I did. I like to have it like this, and then... Yeah, I did not do that right. Right being the operative word that I gotta do weird stuff to make it fit. There you go. That's better. Alright, where's the other? So you're going to be the evaporation side. That's gonna be over here. 2 space, just because I tend to mess up. And kind of wish you could copy a tank or something. Oh well. So we're going to get this started in the heating sense, because I want to see what the good load will be. Like, can I get it to work down to that load? I have radiators. Good. Not radiators. Yep. Yeah, that's what I was saying. So let's get this here, spawn my gases, get the power and all the things set up. Oh, I need one here. I think it would be easier if I just spawn the gas at whatever the temperature Venus is. Well, what is this one? 600, I would say. Let's just do 600. Nitrogen, 600. 10,000 here. Add gas, nitrogen, 5464, I think. Yeah, 5464, 10,600. Okay, that's going to be what's going to get cooled. That should be a fairly heavy load, with the convection radiator applying more load to it. We'll start with 4. Now the reason I have it this way is so that if I feel I need more counterflows, I can just break into pipes and build that way and come back. You know, just snake the whole thing through. Let's see. The ideal that I want to do for my delta is go from Venus down to 20 Celsius, ideally. That's a huge delta, so 440. I'm going to need several counterflows. I'm pretty sure I will need that. Quite a lot. And if that gets too aggravating, I will shut it up eventually. I like to have a little bit of pipe volume, and I made the mistake of putting them inline before. And complicated stuff. If I have it like this, then I can, if I have it off to the side like that, actually, it'll work if I do that. Then, ooh, that's going to be heavier than I want it to be, but that's fine. Because I can remove this pipe if I need to expand the counterflows. That's in case I want to keep going. Now, I will try to prevent phase change, so I will pressurize the pipes with helium. Unfortunately, I spawned the gases very cold, which gets to really, really... Well, I almost broke that pipe. Let's just go with that. And then, because I'm forgetting about the RTGs, I'm just going to spawn... I'm just going to put a nuclear battery with an APC in there. It's basically a small station battery's worth. I mean, these are phase change devices. They don't use much. Actually, I'll keep that open. Wiring. Can I get to it from there? Ugh. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go around. 5, 3. I need more cables. The physical structure is always the easy part, but it takes some time. And I'm gonna have, I forgot about the pipe analyzer, so I'm gonna get that in there. I just learned about the right click thing a while back. Like, I thought I remember Splitsy doing that, and but every time he mentioned it, I kept not listening to what he did. So he did something. That's all I remembered. Okay. I like to have this. Oh boy, this is gonna be weird. More pipes. I didn't get the right pipes. Okay. I'll do a 3 because that'll be an easy removal. Oh, there's a corner pipe. Why have I not been using that? Really? I ran out of pipes right there? Ugh. Literally just needed the one pipe. Let's see. I think maybe just a dual for across. Well, maybe I'll do yeah, just dual. Don't overcomplicate things too much. The pipe volume is there to be a buffer in case that the condensation side gets throttled again. Last thing I need is to wire up the final condensation chamber, and then I gotta start filling the system. Unless I forgot something. Knowing me, I always forget something. Alright, that should take care of that. I'm gonna need a pressure regulator, volume pump, and what happened to my portable tanks stuff? They're right there. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna fill it from here. Yeah, the thing I forgot, cabling to go out that way. I knew I forgot something. All right, so that'll be simple. Cable right there. What do I fill first, Silanol or Helium? I think I have to do the Silanol first. So I basically got tanks of my different gases over there. Silanol, Ozone, and Helium. That's almost at temp. That'll work. Let's change some settings. Let's do 560. I think was the freezing temp of Silanol. No, 516. So let's do 520, just to be safe. Turn it on, and we're gonna crank up the condensations to max. Now, the reason I have 2 of them is because with my sciencing test build, I'm pooling Silanol in the gas pipes, which means my condensation can't keep up. So that's why I got 2 of them. It kind of makes sense because 460 is the 460 to what is the maximum? 550. That's 90 degrees. So that's at the upper end of Silanol where it's going to start struggling. So having an extra condensation chamber should hopefully improve the system. Keyword hopefully. A lot of phase change stuff is building and seeing what works. Alright, now I need to get the system primed. Now, originally when it was 200 liters, 2 liters was about good enough to get a good evaporation rate. I'm struggling to get that filled above 4 liters actually. Like it's at 4.35 anymore, and I'm just pulling Silanol here, so I don't know that that's a problem with that I can't get it filled up, but more of a problem that my condensation is slow. So that's what I'm hoping the 2 condensation chambers will be enough to overcome that. Alright, so first thing, I will get a liquid volume pump, get some Silanol going, prime the system. I needed the liquid pipes and I put them away. And that's too far. Don't want that to be too far. There we go. Alright, now I had a tank of Silanol that I'm trying to get it to temp, roughly Venusian temp, so that I can pump it in freely without screwing things up. I think I did what? I think it did okay. Yeah. That should get most of that back. Although, actually, I should have left that there. You know what? I should leave it there so that it can be my, my thing, Silanol warmer upper thing. Alright. So, we got this set. We got that set. We got really hot Silanol here. You know what? Let me just remove 2 of these so that I can keep it at temp. Silanol is difficult stuff to work with. Bumping it in at 20 Celsius actually forces the like that. Okay, it took about 40 minutes for that system to stabilize. It was drawing in heat from the nitrogen and the condensation chamber until it finally got to the point where it needed to be. Silanol is just some strong stuff. Alright, let's just start filling it. Slow and steady. Everything's flowing. Good, because if it wasn't flowing, that'll be scary. See what I mean? It's technically cooling things down. But I want to try to see if I can fill it to maybe 10, 20 liters. Because that other one is just barely primed. And then this is where I'm seeing issues. It's evaporating it so fast, it's actually not filling up as much. Alright, who won the race? I think they... Oh no, that's an evaporation chamber, darn it! I did something wrong, dang it! Stop! Shadow Drake, you're cooling your same thing. Yeah, I realized that. Condensation chamber. Thank you very much. No wonder I wasn't having much liquids because they were literally getting eaten here too. Alright. Which means this guy's the winner. He's gonna be the one that cools everything. There, now that I have the correct chamber on both ends. That's embarrassing. Nobody saw that, right? The game lagging on me. There we go. Alright, back to filling. So you're saying 33 kilojoules. That should be more than enough to overcome the 5.4 here, which makes sense. We're only at 3 liters, 100, oh, what's my, well, this isn't a good indicator yet, because this is still filling up. It's cooling that down though, right? Yeah, it seems to be ish. Well, not really. It's because there's nothing really flowing. Alright, I need you to start condensing. Kind sir, please condense. And then I'm gonna try do the same. Oh, that one's also filling up too. Cool. Once you can begin condensing, I'll let the other one fill up. Yep, I'm gonna let that one fill up. I probably shouldn't. Ooh, that's actually catching up pretty well. Alright, that should be enough. Alright, so now you're condensing. That negative exchange rate is, I think, a problem. Turn you off for now. Let it settle a bit. No, the negative exchange rate is okay. Because the negative exchange rate means I'm actually pushing heat out here. But it's colder. Venus is actually colder. Oh, yeah, because it's getting flooded in here. That can't be 383. Is it really 383? Ugh, the heat zones. That's actually doing quite a good bit. It should be easily overcoming this nitrogen. Yeah, it's cooling down. That's good. I think I want to wait for this to... Yeah, okay, they're hotter than the condensation. That's good. Perfect. So 13 and 14. That's better. I think I'll take that for now. All right, now to pressurize the liquid side. And that's going to be a pressurant valve. The pressurant valve one is the tricky part. I really don't like pressurizing stuff. I don't like pressurizing the liquid pipe when I get to hear groaning all the time. It's concerning. For Vulcan, whenever I played on Vulcan, hearing the groaning lets me know that my cooling can't keep up anymore, and I go out and fix it. And Venus, it's always groaning, and it throws off my groove. So this is 4.5. So let's do 4,600 for the time being. That's gonna force condensation everywhere. Wow, that's gonna force it everywhere. That should give me more liquids in here. That's still cooling it down. That's good. Okay, you know what? 4.8. You see how the temperature is so low? Was it really from this tank? Yeah, that's this tank. So now I have to wait for who knows how long for this to kind of catch up temperature-wise to that condensation chamber. So all of that is condensing, and it's evaporating here because there's just not enough yet. And it's gonna pull here. Got 11 liters. I'm actually glad about that. Unfortunately, this is where there's a waiting game. Okay, most of the helium is starting to... I want to have 0 condensation and evaporation in the liquid pipelines because that throws off the counterflow numbers. That's a lot of gas still. Is it because I'm filling in the system? Or did I just kind of mess myself over again? That's... okay. That's not enough. 5 megapascals then. Oh, I just realized this is 20 Celsius helium. That's going to throw off numbers as well. Alright, so all the Silanol is now... should stay as a liquid. Okay. Saying 52 and 53 kilojoules, but I really don't think that that's the true number because I'm kind of messing with the system, pushing in really cold helium. Oh yeah, that heats up periodically. This is creative mode. And then you see that the liquids start dropping. Oh, I got pressure in here, so that means I'm still not keeping up. That's concerning. I should be... well, if it doesn't get higher than 1.4, then maybe that'll work out better. Alright, stop the pressurizing. I think that's enough. No, that's not enough. Do I seriously need another? I gotta go to 5.2. Man, unhappy pipe noises. Ugh. .3. Gotta get all the Silanol to be liquid. I wonder if I need a larger tank. What's the load on this one? 2 and 8. Yeah, it's going down, but it's slow. Oh, I don't want to increase it any more than that. Oh, that is so aggravating, that sound. Okay, 5.4. Yeah, 5.4 should work because that's what these are at. Now the problem is once this hits like gets really good at its job. Oh wow, that's at 277. That's an improvement. Now, thinking about this realistically, do I really need an evaporation chamber that does 44 kilojoules of energy movement on Venus? Well, well, half that, like 22 kilojoules a tick. So the Elmo AC, geez, that one can get really good. I think that 20 kilojoules a tick. It requires 2 ACs, so maybe I should keep pushing to see how much it takes to get to that point. while still handling the load. Because, I mean, this load needs to be about 20. Yeah, the reason it's cooling down is this load is not high enough to overcome what the chamber is doing cooling-wise. Do I need another tank? I wonder that. Now, the only reason I'm adding tanks here is so that it can... the tanks will add more of a buffer for the condensation chambers, just to make sure that they work better. That should help them to cool better. I say should. It's 469 versus 464. I wonder, what if I split them up and have 2 separate cows and tanks? Would that be better? Because right now, I think I'm hitting this like a whole thing where maybe one heats up this tank, causes that's not where it needs to be. What I'm thinking is happening is maybe I'm not clearing this out, and one of them is getting throttled by the fact that we have 2 separate temperatures, or... So these are both 467, which is what I expect. These are now both 472. And their temperature's going down, which is good. That's what I want. Well, going down by a little bit, not by much. Oh yeah, that's going down in temp. That's good. But now I'm at 40.5 kilojoules. How much thermal load is a single convection radiator on Venus? Hold on, I gotta do a test for that. Yeah, I need a tank. Add gas. 6253. $62.53. All right. So this is 20 Celsius. Room temp, what we want. A single convection radiator at room temp. Do I even have the radiators on me anymore? I don't think I do. I have liquid radiators. That doesn't help. That's where all the pumps went. Alright. I'll just spawn a new one. That's fine. It's getting down there. Slowly but surely. Let's see. This is at 11. So basically, I would... let's do an actual test. Radiator. One convection radiator. Pipe radiator. Actually, probably the best thing for me to do is just connect that there. $23 kilojoules. Okay. So if it's 23 kilojoules for 20C, that means I would need to have 46 on my evaporation in order to be able to handle the load, and as it is right now, that's not possible with this even this setup right here. And I also have way too much molar flow that my counterflows are gonna struggle. Let's see what I'm getting at. 470 down to 298. That's literally the same thing as that. Actually, no, that's better. A little bit better. 298, 470. Yeah, that's a 172-degree difference. So it might be helping. But I have too many counterflows. No, I don't have enough. So I need more. I think I need more. What if I add two more? You know, my worst fear is that it would take about 2 hours for it to get that tuned. How do you get gas from to 20C from stupid low or stupid high? Well, from stupid low to high is actually the easiest way to do that is actually just combust stuff in a furnace and let the combustion energy get you that far. What is it? I think it's one volatile ice dropped inside a Europa atmosphere. I think 6 or 7 frames worth, and then you ignite that volatile ice. You'll get your oxygen from -140 to roughly room temp. It'll be pyromaniac. It'll be a pyric solution. Is that the right word? It'll be a fun fire-based solution basically, and if you do that, I would recommend making sure that's in a enclosed space that has nothing critical, because you don't want to set your printer room on fire just to warm it up. That takes some guts for sure. Now, from stupid high to low, that's basically what this is, because it's harder to make things cold than it is to make things hotter in this game. That's kind of where the thermodynamic mod comes in. I think that would make it more realistic for the Europa, because then you'd actually have to deal with the cold constantly. And you could do something similar where you use a phase change heat pump from cold Europa to keep it warm. But again, at the current game implementation, it's actually easier to heat up than it is to cool down. I'm actually curious what this will settle at. 36.7. It's still cooling down. That's a good sign. I'll be honest, phase change devices is a difficult... Well, just phase change in general is... Oh, what did I do again? Getting a phase change heat pump to work, it kind of is almost like it's almost an art. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. And it is a lot of experience and trial and error. Like, as it is right now, I have 4 counterflows, wondering how well that will do. I want to see what adding 2 more would do to this system, whether it would make it better or worse. So as it is right now, it's 36.3 kilojoules, which is fine. That's actually a decent amount of energy movement. Well, cut it in half actually. That's 18 kilojoules. Consistency. Maybe that's something to write to the devs. That's a good note to take. Devs, can you make heat exchange rate match what this says? Because otherwise, that doesn't make sense. 12.3 and 36. You'd think I'd be cooling something really, really well. All right, let's try two more counterflows. I want to see what that does to the system. So counterflow heat exchanger. This way. And then I'll use the authoring tool to add the other one. Like that, yeah. This is a really weird flow. Okay. Let's see. Pipes, utility pipes, liquid pipes, and I got everything. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Here and here. I don't think there should be any flow whatsoever through here until I get the gas pipes connected. on both ends, so that gives me a chance to get it set up. Where's the corner pipe? Yeah. And then I need a 3. Come on now. Wait, that's a liquid pipe. No wonder that won't fit. Alright. Now that's gonna throw off the pipes because this has to equalize and all that fun stuff. How is there flow? Oh, right, because it's connected that way. Yeah, okay. That's why there's flow, Shadow Drake. Alright. Now there's a complete flow. And we're going to turn you back on to make sure that that pressurize everything. Oh, good grief, everything's all screwy. Alright, waiting for this to stabilize. Oh no, I forgot to remove this. Oh, there we go. Everything. I'm internally cringing at just how much whining there is. I should have taken note of the temperatures. Now the heat exchange rate is increasing, so that's a good sign. Now I don't know if that's because I'm pumping in helium to get it back up to pressure. This is why I don't like Venus either, because I have to hear this the whole time just to work with something. Like, ugh. So that's rejecting 22, that's rejecting 22. That means it should be rejecting roughly 40. Oh boy, that got much better. That got significantly better. Adding 2 extra counterflows made it better. What's my flow rates? I think that got better. No, they're still the same. What? Alright, I'm going from 472 down to 254. Yeah, it's getting better. I think I actually have to just wait. Ah! Keep hitting the wrong button. Get that warning out of my HUD. Alright. Yes, I am filling the system with helium. Well, only the liquid pipes. The reason, part of that is any parasitic, well, any phase change happening outside of where it should be is essentially a parasite. If, for example, I have evaporation of Silanol here, this liquid pipe will get colder, which means that when it heat exchanges with the gas coming in, it actually can't cool it down. It has the potential of cooling it down. And then if, say, over here, now that it's cold enough, it'll start condensing, therefore it'll start heating up. Then you'll get this strange assortment of your gas, you know, doing some kind of like loop-de-loop, you know, just some kind of like sinusoid wave. You know, on the cold, you want it to be from evaporation to condensation chamber. You want the gas to always get warmer as it travels down towards the condensation chamber, and the opposite for liquids from the condensation chamber. You don't want it to get warm, get cold, get warm, get cold, because once you start doing that, you're essentially capping yourself at a certain point. And that's the whole reason why I'm pressurizing the liquid line with helium. That way I can prevent the liquid pipes from condensing and evaporating at the most random of points. And for the gas pipe, I have volume here to try to keep the gas from getting overpressured and condensing. Because it's the same thing. I don't want it condensing, getting hotter than it should be, then getting colder, cooled by the liquid, and then evaporating, getting colder, and just, you know. Fine-tuning it is a very tricky business. Let's see, some of the evap heat flow, yeah. Okay, yeah, the pipe groans. If I could find a place where the groans happen, I would completely shut those off, at least for Venus. Yeah, you're right. There is a limit to how much thermal heat the counterflows can do. I really gotta look up the user's name. I wanted to say it was Jakuba, but I could be wrong. I think when he mathed everything out, it's 125 divided by the specific heat of the gas. So for Silanol, if it's 1.23 moles, ozone is 3.24 if I get that far. So seeing my flow rate for being 5, that's not a good thing. If you have too little molar flow, you don't get effective heat exchange. If you got too high, again, not effective enough. This is like the Goldilocks zone. You want it just right. Oh wow, it's 186. That's a significant improvement. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should probably replace that nuclear battery. There you go. Let's see, the target rate was about 20, well, what did I say, 22? So I'm gonna be capped soon. This isn't gonna get it all the way to 20. I guess 2 more counterflows. I mean, at this point, if counterflows is gonna help the system out better, might as well. That way and that way. Do I have this stuff? Yes, I do. Wait, I thought I placed that. Did I not? Okay. Where's that weird junction? Yes, that one. And a 3. Alright, this time let's take note of my numbers. So we're going from 5.2. Everything's gonna be unhappy for a while. Alright, now I can remove that. And that. Turn on the helium again. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. We're at 8 counterflows. And see, this is what I'm talking about. Like right here, we're seeing condensation. It's warming up, and then more condensation. Once that is stopped condensing, that should be fine. Again, the problem I have is that I have literally helium at 20 Celsius. You know what? Well, not a good thing. Not a good idea for me to warm it up. Is it filled over here? Ah, it's roughly filled. Yeah, that barely dropped it at all. That's literally... I went from 5.2 to 5. So really, so I have to probably parallel this system then. So if I make the system parallel, then I'll really cut it in half. Ugh. I don't like to parallel this on. Yeah, I don't like to parallel it. But we went up to 51.7, so that's a good number. But this is a lot of, it's a very space intensive. That's what we got so far. So really would be better pressurized to certain pressure. The pressure you want is the maximum temperature that's coming out of your condensation chamber. So my condensation chamber is capping out at 5.3 right now for both of them, for both chambers. And so my liquids are gonna need to be at least that much to make sure that nothing evaporates. That's why I don't like Venus, because we gotta have high temps to the point that pipes groan, high pressure. Yeah, priming the system takes a while. It's actually quite easy to break stuff, especially with a crazy load. Like ordinarily, I wouldn't recommend having a load on the evaporation side. You kind of want to have it settle and get to the point where it needs to be, and then introduce a load. But nothing crazy like the current evaporation. What was it? 52 kilojoules. When I originally set it up, I think it probably would have been about 20 to 40. I wouldn't want to just put a crazy load of like 20 or 40 kilojoules into it, because I would stress the system, and that's kind of where. Okay, so if you take notice, I have literally 0 pipe safety measures. There's no condensation valves and no purge valves. I'm quite literally adding stuff to the system. I'm never detracting from it. You see that this pipe network is cooling down. If I pre-pressurized it all to 5.4 megapascals and this got to 20 Celsius, and then I added a massive load to this system, then the evaporation chamber is going to get hot, which is going to bring hot gases out, which means that liquids coming in here are going to start warming up. Well, at some point, you know, that 5.4 is not going to take much of a temperature increase to make it actually burst. So these systems are very finicky. It's easy to break them, especially when you go crazy. Yeah. Let me see. What else? I know, right? There's not really much diminishing returns. I think really all the extra counterflows are doing is helping to expand the is really just expanding the temperature difference, making sure that I can get more and more of the energy, more of the heat concentrated here, less of it concentrated on the evap. Because I mean, if this is to be believed, they're all exchanging about what, 17 to 18 kilojoules each, just trying to move all of that upstream. And making this parallel is actually difficult, because the hard part about making it parallel is that what you end up doing is, if this liquid pipe is got more liquid percent than the other branch, then the other branch just stops working. This is where we get to the whole, well, we could use volume pumps to move stuff, but I mean, if you watch most of my content, you will know that I try to make things as power efficient as possible. So anything else that consumes power to the system really cuts into the ability for this thing to work. Let's see. What am I? 150? So 150 versus what? 48? I'm just gonna round it down. 48,000 divided by 150. That's an insane COP of 320 right now. So basically, for every watt of power, I'm doing 320 joules of cooling. It's insane. If I were to add a single liquid volume pump, that adds at base another 100. 48 divided by 250 at that point brings my COP down to 192. So it's a massive drop in the COP, and that's so I always build my systems with that in mind. Like, I want to make something give me a good COP, a coefficient of performance. If I haven't explained that, sorry. A good coefficient of performance with power before I start adding more stuff. So turbo volume pumps are actually really good at forcing gases to condense. The problem is they're at 1,000 watts. So for that 1,000 watts I'm inputting to force condensation to happen better, which can generally make it better than these chambers, mind you, I better get a significant amount of condensation, heat rejection, and stuff to offset that power cost. Am I trying to see how much cooling I can get with two phase change devices? I think my goal right now is to try to see if I can put a load, see how strong I can make this system to get it down to 20 Celsius before I make another system that tries to go down to liquid hydrogen temps. So this first stage is trying to get the upper end. Isn't the volume a little too little for this now? How much is in the evap chamber? 8 liters. I'm a little concerned at how little there is, but that's still above 1%. Usually I targeted at least, for let's see, back when it was 200 liters, I recommended at least 2 liters of liquids to get optimal energy movement, which 2 liters out of 200 is 1%. So I'm at least above the 1% mark for this. So if I remember right, the math is 1% of liters can evaporate at max, or until it hits the pressure cap. And actually, it's interesting that this 520 and this is I'm gonna have a pressure issue eventually. Hold on. If I want to get to 20 Celsius, is 1.4. Okay, no, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. 1.4. So if this ever gets above 1.4, that's a problem. Honestly, I'm starting to wonder if I need a third condensation chamber. Right now I'm on the waiting game trying to see where it stabilizes at. I have the spare gas with portable tanks, T-junctions. So it could. The problem that I can see portable tanks in between, I'm not entirely sure how that would interact. It might be like I have not tried that. That's something worth trying. I'm actually not sure how that would work. Hold on. Now I gotta. So if I have, I guess I'd have to be careful with how I connect it. Like, what if there's a point where I want it to be equal? So, like, if I want this to be 320 and this also to be 320, let me do a mock-up. Where's the portable? I have them in my inventory. So if I were to do something like that, I'm not gonna connect it. Just kind of see the concept in my mind. It'll be liquids like that, gas like this. That is too close. Alright, so what am I doing? That. I'm curious to see what that will do. I would need a clean tank for this. Because if it doesn't work, we can just remove it. And plus, that's an extra chamber. I need more pipes. Always need pipes. And utility pipes. Need more of those too. So what I'm thinking would happen is the temps will equalize a bit better. That's my hypothesis on that. Which would put like a point in between where the temperatures are the same. Something like this. Oh, well, okay. Drat. Oh well, whatever. Concept. That is an interesting concept. Where's my portable? I know I put some portables. So, if I were to do something like this, connect you here. One thing that I would know is liquids will equalize here. Gas will also equalize there. Because this acts like an extra evaporation side, what I could see is... Or actually, it could work the other way around. I'd introduce a potentially parasitic amount of phase change. Because okay. Because if the liquids go in here, they're going to evaporate, cool this system down, and then I'm going to flood this with cold liquids. So depending on where I have this, I could make a spot that gets colder. So I have hot liquids. This will evaporate, cool down. That should get colder liquids going down. So that makes sense to me. This is going to cause a bottleneck though, because once this equalizes to a certain pressure, it's going to prevent the gas from flowing. Interesting. I'm wondering, I'm wondering what this will do to the whole system. Trying to make sure I think out loud. So if this spot gets cold, well, I guess it depends. I gotta look at it from two different perspectives. Case one would be the hot liquids come in here, some evaporation happens, which will cool them down before they continue on their merry way. Second case is gases are cold, which causes condensation. That would be the problem. So that would be a major problem. Because liquids that evaporate should hopefully get taken in by the condensation side. So the ideal would be that liquids can evaporate here. But is that really necessary? I think the biggest problem I can see with something like this would be if my condensation isn't keeping up, that it bottlenecks the gases here. Because this will act like a temporary evaporation chamber. But I wonder if that could eliminate some of these. That's an interesting concept. How do I stop the helium from filling up on the evaporator side? The problem is you won't be able to. Not effectively, because as this cools down, the pressure is going to drop which means that the helium from that's needed on the hot side, and you see I'm already getting some parasitics right there. The helium from the hot side will pull down here. This is where you get the issue where, what, 5.3? 5.3, 5.4 megapascals has to be present throughout the entire line. And once this gets down to a cold temperature, that will, you will have a lot of helium in this pipe network compared to very little helium here. And if that's where, if you shock the system, give it a huge heat load, then you'll get hotter gases here, warm that up, and kaboom. Well, burst, not kaboom. And that's what I was thinking about, it being detrimental to the cooling for that portable tank. Because I will create a separate zone where the temperatures equalize. And I think the problem will be is if this equalizes too close to that, well, it could make that function a little bit better, but the gas could get throttled coming out. I do kind of want to give this a try. See what that does. I think the easiest thing I can do is ironically have that like that, because then if I don't like it, I can just remove that and replace the missing gases I lost. Oh, look, what if I connected it at the start? No, actually, the and on noplib. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. So the portable tank in this situation, the valve, the connections for the portable tank are actually only for that specific phase, state of phase. So the liquid pipes will only allow liquid Silanol in this case to go into the portable, and the gas pipes will only allow gaseous Silanol to go into the portable. So the helium is going to stay inside the liquid pipe network because it's a gas and it can't condense. The Silanol, however, will either evaporate or condense depending on the conditions. Okay, if you're saying what happens here, if I were to put it there, I think at that point, the problem that I could have there is I might be cutting into what the evaporation chamber is supposed to be doing. But it can act as a temporary counterflow. It actually would be like the weirdest counterflow that I could... Actually, I wonder if you could do that. Counterflows like that. That's an interesting concept. I might have to theory test that at some point. I do want to see what that does, though. Let's see. So I'm at 45.3. This is at 18. And it's at 100 Celsius. That's actually pretty... That's at least at the point that I could swap to a pollutant phase change. 18, 19, that's 38. So I'm still getting a little bit of cooling. Okay, I wanna try this just to see what it does. So we're at 45.3. If it's counterproductive, I will just remove that pipe connection for both of them. So let's see what happens. All right, let's see what happens. So what I expect... Yeah, I get that. This is going to start equalizing. Let's get... Oh, that is on. Okay. Let's see what happens. So this is cooling down. I expect that. The whole system is going to be way out of whack for a while. Alright. That actually got... Now, this is actually getting colder. To a point. Now it's warming up. Okay. I did lose some energy here, which makes sense because I'm losing a lot of it in here. Alright, let's get all of the... Yeah, there's not going to be any gas on this end. Because this is 880. Ah! Yeah, you're fine. Alright, let's wait for the system to stabilize. At least the good news is I can just... Well, I could actually just remove that too. Alright, it's warming up now because it cannot keep up with that load. I'm at 109 Celsius. Was that there before? I should have gotten better numbers. 225. I did remove that. 225. This is 208. Yeah, this is colder than... So this is colder. We gotta wait for this to kind of stabilize. I don't know if... If I shut you off, will you... Yeah. Oh. How much liquids are here? Oh yeah, that's a problem. That's why I got massively reduced rate. I lost liquids. Which makes sense because some of them are more pooling here. Alright. Let's add liquids. I didn't need to remove that. Now I need a liquid volume pump. I need my Silanol out of the way. My main concern is that now I might accidentally overfill the system now. I should combine stuff. Alright, let's start slow. 1 liter. Yeah, so I lost a bunch of the cooling power here because I got below 4 liters. Now, let's see if I can get it back up to 5, but I know I'm going to be fighting because this is going to be filling up too. That's another thing that I didn't consider, that this tank means that's a good chunk of capacity. Oh, yeah, yep, we got problems too with the pipes. They're 5.8. Yeah. Come on now. This is taking up quite a lot of Silanol. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a temporary fix. All right, grab the liquids, cool back down a little bit, please, and thank you. Yeah, again, remember what I was telling about a heat load will cause it to break? Yeah, that. That's what I meant. So because it took out liquids from the evaporation chamber, it kind of threw off my numbers. I wasn't able to get a good sense of what it was gonna do. I think I actually need to purge out some helium now because this is way too much. I think I could probably do the same thing, but first I gotta purge out some helium to get the pipes back under steady pressure. So that's 18.6, 50 and a half. Well, the two other counterflows definitely made this better. Yeah, let's purge out some of the helium, and see if I can get that. See if I can get that going. Let's do 600. And I just realized these are long cables. Oh. Is there a way I can break in? No. Alright, that's fine. We'll go this way. Ah! What are you doing there? Okay, I have a passive vent if I remember right. Yep, I do. Let's get some of that helium out. That way I can try that again. Alright. That should stabilize my temps a little bit. Wow, that's a lot of helium. Oh, I should replace this battery, right? It's only at 70%. Alright. Let's see. If I reconnect you again, that should be a good check. Yeah. Yeah. Let's catch back up while I let the system stabilize. Yeah, I probably should have made a save before connecting. Yeah, that would have been a great idea. At least I fixed it. Oh. What? To purge and pressurize is needed. Again. To purge is needed. Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to find. The benefit of the portable tank. See what it would do. The thing I forgot is the portable tank has volume and it was sucking up the liquids from the evap chamber, so it kept it from doing its job optimally. That's why I attempted to fill the system and give it more Silanol to get it back up to over 5 liters, and that happened. The only liquid pressure regulator would be the purge valve. Yeah. So this is 1.87. Oh, so much pipe groaning. Okay, let's see where I'm at. I'm actually getting close to 20 Celsius. Took almost like an hour. All right, let's kickstart this again. See what'll happen. We're back up to 8. Let's see what happens. All right, so stuff is happening here. Things are gonna be not happy for a while. This is gonna drop down in liquids, and it's gonna get under 5 liters. That makes sense. And that's why we're going to have significant... Yeah, you saw that. Right around when it crossed 4 liters is when it significantly crashed. In output rate. And that's because this sucker it takes up liquids. Yeah, I think that just introduces issues. Yeah, I think that I might need to do that with the system that isn't going to crash super hard. All right, let's get more Silanol back in. Get this back up to about 8. I'm really trying to think about the portable tank thing because it's an extra evaporator, which means it can cool the liquids down more, which is something desirable for the evaporation chamber. But I'm thinking that, yeah, maybe having it here could be better. And the only reason I would think that is because then liquids will come in to that tank, evaporate, cool it down. So now we have extra cold, or ideally colder gas. It further cools this down, which can hopefully cool this. I think that probably will be the better implementation. Because that makes much more sense to me. Because this liquid pipe crashed in temperature, to the point that it was a lower temperature than this one. Yeah, maybe that would work better. If you were here instead, I wonder if you would work better because of that. Oh, come on. That would be an interesting thing. So, that's. Will I ever get this in the right place? There we go. Now I'm adding volume here. That means I gotta get back the, whatchamacallit, the helium in there. All this is just to try to make this handle a massive heat load. Alright, so that's going to cause a lot of wacky stuff because my pressure is going to crash everywhere, I would assume. Actually, it's not that bad. Alright, so this makes sense to me. This is going to be okay, we're back up to 8 liters. We're about 40 kilojoules. We're at 88 Celsius. Awesome. We're getting there. Saving this time. So what are we working on? So what I'm trying to do is get phase change heat pump with Silanol on Venus. I'm trying to get it down to 20 Celsius. And the main load is this convection radiator, which, you know, last time I did the test was like, I believe 22 kilojoules at room temperature, convecting to Venus. Now, if we're trying to remove 22 kilojoules of energy, I feel like that's already pretty good. Partially because the Elmo AC config can get about that much. Might be a little bit higher, mind you. But it does that with, what, 360 times 2, 720 watts? Right now, we're only using 2 condensation chambers and 1 evap chamber. Yeah. Is there a way that I can just... Can I just... Video... It's not like you need audio. Wait, can I just do that? Oh, that is so quiet. So the UE interface, that's actually kind of unsettling quiet. So I'm doing the Mimas series. Being outside in the quiet is actually unnerving. I can deal with that though. I can deal with that if it eliminates the pipe groaning. Sound effects. Can I go to 30? Just keep it low. It's low that I can barely hear it. That might be better. All right, so if I connect that, that's going to cause problems because it's going to, well, I don't know. 1.4 megapascals is when it starts condensing at room temps, so the problem will be that this sucks up too much of the liquids, evaporates them. It's kind of like a pre-cooler for the thing. So to make sure that the evap chamber has enough, I would say 10%. That means I would need like 79 liters of Silanol in here. I think what I should do is remove most of this Silanol. That's 373 moles, really hot. Well, that's what a save is for. All right, what happens? So that's gonna get colder. That's gonna get hot. That's gonna crash and burn maybe. All right, let's get some. Oh, I disconnected that. Why did I disconnect you again? Is there any Silanol in here? Oh, there's no Silanol in here. Okay. That's a problem. That's a problem because I don't have any hot Silanol. If I were to introduce uh cold Silanol, everything goes crazy. Don't ask me how I know. So I think that this can kind of work. I'm watching this. It's kind of like a pre-cooler thing, so it makes sure that this is cold, this is cooler. It's pretty cool. I think that kind of can give some benefit. All right. Now this can't overcome. Yeah, I don't have enough liquids in here. That's always the problem. I don't have enough liquids. All right, let's disconnect you for the time being. Hmm. All right, you're going back down again. Good. I just don't have enough liquids. That's the main problem with this. There's just not enough liquids. And I need more Silanol, but I can't just introduce 20 Celsius Silanol. That the last time I did that again, it took hours for this thing to stabilize because of that. Like hours. Where are you at? At the start, you were at like 300 Celsius. You're 5. Yeah, I'd say you equalize. So wow, that a single counterflow only stabilizes at 244 at a 2.5 kilojoule load. Wow, that's so at least this is a massive improvement. Hmm. All right, so and again, the only reason I want this big of a load is, assuming that I can do this at room temperature, I kind of would like to do a separate Silanol pump to go from, where's ozone? Ozone. To go from 20 Celsius down to as low as it can go. Actually, you know what? The interesting thing is, I bet I could probably get ozone working to get down to hydrogen as it is right now. Because moving 47 kilojoules, that's pretty hefty. I think I can probably just stop messing with this. I mean, okay, so I don't know. That'd be a good recommendation. It's 10:30. Why don't I actually focus on the ozone side of things? I do want to see how well it can work. Okay, so I, I gotta test this later. I think this is a good concept, but I gotta test it later. Let's work on the ozone side of things. I want to try to see if I can get down to cryo hydrogen. And let me just replace this battery. So let's see. Yeah, this is gonna be awkward. Okay, phase change device. Let's do 3. Let's just do 4 just in case. Where's my paint that I left on the floor? Oh, good grief. Well, there's the red paint. Yeah, that is much quieter. It's almost like playing on Mimus again. How many times have I fixed Amy? Too many times to count. All right, condensation chambers this time, Shadow Drake. Never mind literally that gaff you did a while back. I think I'm gonna need 2 of them for the ozone. Let's go back to ozone. Blah blah blah. Ozone. So ozone is actually terrible at that. So 38.6, 1 kilojoule. I think that rivals pollutant. No, that's even worse than pollutant. Hydrochloric acid. Oh, good grief. So I'm working with essentially hydrochloric acid for ozone. Hydrochloric acid stuff for ozone. Oh, that is so much quieter. I like that. Since it's going to be tied to the nitrogen, can I do a 3? The answer to that is no. The piping is going to be simple. It's just going to go this way. All right. Now, it's not technically down to 20 Celsius, but I think it's going to get close. 20.3, 49.6. Yeah, it should get down to that point. Because as soon as I remove this, then there's going to be like literally 0 load, and I kind of needed that to be loaded for the Silanol. Yeah, the quiet creeps up and something pops. That's why I like the. That's why I'm very antsy in Moon and Mimus right now, because, well, I don't have pipes everywhere right now, but because my Amy is an idiot. Nobody heard me say that. Don't kill me, Amy. Let's see, and then let's do the counterflows. I think the thing is still set to counterflows, right? No, it's set to not counterflows. All right, so what am I doing here for ozone? So unfortunately, I got to go from roughly 30 Celsius down to about negative 220. That's an insane temperature drop. And last time I did the math for specific heat and ozone, I think it's 25. I put a sign over here. I should go refer to it. Yeah, 25. 25. So trying to go from roughly 30 to negative 220. Yeah, negative 222 in steps of 25. That would be a pain. 222 plus 30 divided by 25. Yeah, that would be like 10. I wonder if that's a good marker that I would need 10 counterflows to get that far. That's something I should try to check out. You know what? Let's start with that as a baseline. So we'll get the 1 and then was it that awkward looking for the other ones? Seemed like it. It's probably the orientation. Orientation matters a bit. I like to have at least the frame of space. Okay, yeah, the orientation definitely matters. This is like the awkward orientation for that. And then we'll just have a evaporation chamber right here. Let's put them in line with that. Oh, that is so much quieter. Oh, wait, I said in line with that. Never mind, we're good, we're good. All right. Do the same thing for ozone as we did. Wait, this is the condensation side, so I will need to fill liquids on this end. Oh, come on. All right, that's cool. I can work with that. This is the fill side, so then I can do that for the not fill side. Okay, perfect. Let's get more counterflows. So if I expect 10, I wonder just how well 10 is. No, I built liquid. Darn it. I should have left one. Now I don't know where I built these things at. Oh, wait. This works. Haha! Oh. Liquid gas. The tooltip is kind of in the way. All right, then I need gas liquid. Liquid come this way. Gas liquid. Liquid come other way. There we go. Okay, so I'm thinking I might need another evap chamber, but I don't think so. I think the problem might, well, I might need one more. Let's try 2. We'll try 2 and see how well 2 works. So what I'm just gonna do is spawn a tank of well, just make a tank of some hydrogen, and I'm just gonna drip feed it to be condensed. Okay. I need to do the, well, first let's add some more counterflows here. So I was thinking 10, so I did the liquid again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think 10 is probably too much. But let's give it a try. It gives me something to do while I'm waiting for that system to stabilize. Because quite honestly, the waiting for phase change devices and everything to stabilize and all of that, it takes forever. It's like the sooner you can get. Oh, this is not going to work out too well. Because all right, well, I think I can do this. Some T junctions. Yeah, I did not plan this one out very well compared to that one. Where am I at right now? 54 Celsius. That's not bad. But that's only a single pipe. I might need to spawn more pipes. Oh well. And I'm basically going to do the same thing. Actually, what is the max condensation pressure of ozone? So, oh, it's 6 megapascals. Ugh. So I want to get this as cold as possible. You don't need to work on the maximum range. That was very problematic to work on the maximum range. All right, so I'm at 21.2. That's working out really well. Because the more you start working on the maximum temperature range, the slower everything gets. Good night, not on action, man. Let's see. Pipe junctions. I do think that there's some merit to the to the portable tank thing. I gotta look at the downsides for that. I think it probably would work only for the evaporation side for getting it a little bit colder, but I really do need to stress test that to see what issues will occur from that. And if you're wondering, the only reason I do the small insulated tanks for the liquids is usually that's enough. Sometimes it's held up by hopes and dreams. That isn't saying much half the times. But yeah. Alright, that's the that side. And then I gotta have the little stick up here. Alright, my dogs apparently need to go out, so I'll be right back. Oh, the lack of groaning. Okay, I do need more insulated pipes. That's fine. Now, I actually have not done any custom counterflows. That should be something that I need to do at some point. And I need a lot of insulated tanks, and then the base. Well, I gotta power it, and then the base structure will be ready. And I need one area power controller. Could I just connect the other thing? Yes, I could. But well, actually, to be honest, I could just use a whatchamacallit. What's that thing called? RTG. I should just use an RTG, but I'd rather just use a separate one. I could have sworn I only picked the one, but I have two. Alright. Should only need one of these for everything. I forgot to connect this. That would be a problem. And I need more insulated tanks. That's fine. Although, I could just hop off of this, right? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? That'll be easier, because I'll do this for the pump. Oh, this is perfect right there. I could branch off from here. Really? Okay, that's fine. then I can just do some long cables to get to the phase change devices. I mean, well, the evaporation chambers, you know what I said. You might know what I meant. Sometimes I don't know what I mean. All right, so that will be ozone, and I think for that I'm just gonna set these to 0, 0, and well, actually, what's the minimum? 51 Kelvin. Yeah, I'm just gonna set them to 0. Because the thing is, I don't think I think the way that I have the Silanol right now, it's definitely strong. It can handle a load of oh wow, it's actually down to 50 Celsius. So we're at 21.7. Doubling that, that's what 22, so 44, and yet I'm doing 49 kilojoules. So I'm still cooling down. That's good. I definitely want to get lower than that. That's impressive how good Silanol is. So when I originally did the phase change heat pumps on Venus using water and then going down to pollutants, basically my water system looked pretty much like that, just a whole row of counterflows. The only thing different is that instead of attaching tanks and pipe cowls on the hot end, it was quite literally ACs because water can't work very well. I tried storm temps, it did not work very well. It just outright did not work very well. Let's see. I really do want to get the ozone working. Oh boy, this is gonna be a mess. Now I do want to have a load.
Waste tank caution.
Really? That takes a while. It takes a while to build up, which is good. Okay. Truthfully, I think this actually works as a valid test. I think it'll actually get down to 20 Celsius. Well, I got this set to the minimum, and I need this load just so that once I introduce the ozone, it doesn't all crash. So let's get the well, hold on, I got insulated tanks. I got insulated tanks over here. And I need, well, there's some insulated tanks. There's the portables connector that I need, and the portable gas tank Mark II. And let's get this too. All right, so what I ideally want to do, let's have. Now, I kind of like to control. I would prefer controlling the. Oh, this is going to be awkward build. How did that now? Okay. So this is going to be for my liquid hydrogen. Oh, come on. You need to be a pressure regulator. So what I'm going to do is add some hydrogen, add gas, hydrogen, 8179, 8179. Let's just add 50,000 just so that it's decently pressurized. Now, I wanted to do room temperature, but let's just do 253, so negative 20 Celsius. Just because. No real reason. And then the only thing this is going to do is I'm just going to power this pressure regulator with the battery. Yeah, I know that I have that over there, but I kind of want to do some piping. All right, so I need more insulated pipes. Oh, I need this. And then I think what I'm going to have is just a liquid tank right here. That's going to be the liquid nitrogen. And then what I need is a condensation valve because as it condenses, I want it to, you know, go in there. Let's see. Hydrogen is a tiny little split right there. So let's go look at hydrogen, see what that is like. So hydrogen to ozone. Why is ozone at the bottom? So at minimum, I need. Are you serious? I need at minimum. Oh wow, I didn't know that. Oh, well, probably because it's so. Okay, so you know what? I'm just gonna say that this is going to be 4 megapascals. There. Oh, right. I need a battery, and then condensation valve. And then what I'm gonna end up doing is I'm just gonna remove this convection radiator so that I can allow this to get cold. Because I mean, look at it. It's almost at the point that it can actually condense ozone. I need one valve, and then I'll start actually using my ozone. What is my temperature for ozone here? Negative 76? That'll work. In fact, I think. Oh, I need my valve. Now, I expect the chamber here. You know what? Let's add a little bit more volume. Pipe volume matters after all. Utility type. It's 250. I think 250 will work. Pipe volume matters. It helps greatly. All right, so now I need to get my stuff set up. I gotta get the ozone in here. So 6 megapascals, 6, and then let's just go ahead and do both of these. So that's all squared up and ready. Okay, I'm gonna call the Silanol a success because I think for 150 watts using one phase change device, 3 phase change devices, excuse me, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 counterflows worth of Silanol, I got down to approximately room temperatures with a load of 22.5 kilojoules a tick. So yeah, I think I'll go with that. So again, questions, shouts, exclamations. Again, I really like to work with phase change devices. Quite literally, that's why I started a YouTube channel, because phase change was a thing and new, and it gave everyone trouble. It did give me trouble too. I had to figure everything out. I had thermodynamics class in college, and some of the stuff that the phase change did not make sense to me whatsoever. All right, so to keep this temperature from crashing like mad, I think what I'm going to do, because this is going to crash, I think what I'm going to do is just put a single pipe radiator, a small one. That, that load is 10 kilojoules, so roughly a 1/4 of what the original load was. It'll still go down in temps. This will kind of make sure that there is no condensation. Yeah, I'm having condensation. Drat, I gotta fix that. Yeah, just go that way. Now I gotta once again add the helium. So that it can repressurize the pipes again to 5.4, right? Yep, 5.4. So let's get you back to 5400. Turn it on. Okay. Get all that condensation out. Get rid of the parasitics. Meanwhile, that's at 20 Celsius and dropping. Good. That's what I want. All right. Now I gotta get I gotta get the ozone in. We're gonna try filling one device. We're just gonna try that. So wrong way. All right, puppies want to come inside. So, be right back. I said I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Why not use the biggest changers, the huge ones? It's mostly because these are counterflows. It's what work best with the phase change devices. The large heat exchangers, they try to equalize the temps across both. Make them the same. The counterflows, what they try to do is they attempt to swap the temps. So one side's hot, the other's cold. They attempt to swap the temperatures to make the hot cold and the cold hot, as opposed to finding a middle ground and connecting it. Uh, Pretty much the biggest thing with phase change devices is your condensation chambers need to have for you to reject the most heat, you want hot gases going in, and on the evaporation chambers, you want cold liquids coming in. The problem is condensation chambers make hot liquids, and the evaporation chambers make cold gases, which is not ideal. And so that's what the counterflows do. They attempt to swap those temperatures so that both chambers get what they need. All right, let's turn this on. I don't know. You're both of you are gonna start filling. One of you is gonna start filling. You know what? Maybe I should. Oh nope. Yeah, let's just both do 100 so that I can tell who is filling up. And I wanna try to fill one. Yeah, actually, let's just turn this one off for the time being. I want to get you to about maybe 20 liters. Yeah, maybe 20 liters, and then stop the filling. Yeah, because I gotta get a lot of ozone in here. Yeah, I think I kind of expected that it's gonna have less and less energy the colder it gets. Okay, I'm good with that. Ooh, this might be a problem. Yeah, that could potentially be a problem. If the condensation chambers can't handle that, then I'm gonna need more pipe volume. The cryo is always difficult. I'm surprised that got down to -70, but that's because I'm filling it with cold ozone, so it's gonna be like that. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, fill it with helium, so that I can. I'm gonna try 4 megapascals of helium. What does ozone look like? 4 megapascals. That's -28. That's ugh. Are you condensing? Yes, you're condensing. Now the other one's filling. All right, that's 10. I'm gonna go on ahead and remove this load too. Let the load be strictly from the ozone. Now they should start trying to match up. Yeah, now I'm starting to see where it's struggling a little bit now. Oh, more counterflows. That's always been the solution, just more counterflows. That's getting cold. That's good. Oh well, the temperatures have not stabilized yet. All right. Well, let's just set you to 40. That's technically the freezing temp for ozone. You are doing 11 kilojoules of energy movement. That's not bad. That's not bad for now. Let's pressurize the let's pressurize the ozone to. Why am I removing that? Now let's pressurize it with well, let's. I should have removed this first. There. Where's my screwdriver? No, not screwdriver. Wrench. And yes, if you're wondering, I turned down the sound because Venus has a lot of pipe groaning and it was getting to everyone. Now it's nice and quiet. Scarily quiet. The type of quiet that something can go wrong and I would be none the wiser. Quiet. All right, one last little push for that. I find it amazing that the way this, because I'm not consuming any oxygen, my waste tank is actually is over 11,000 Kelvin.
Waste tank critical.
That's insane.
Temperature high. Temperature critical.
Yeah.
Temperature high.
That's kind of crazy. Just gonna get rid of that. All right, that should handle the Silanol again. Now, the problem I'm gonna have with the ozone is this helium is 20 Celsius, so it's a little bit warmer. I want to be gentle with the way I feed it. Oh, both chambers are capping out here. Let's see. We got 3.3, so let's just do 3.5. And get rid of the parasitics in the cryo line. That should start putting a lot of ozone in here. Oh, phase change is such a waiting game. I'm getting impatient. 3.6. That'll get it in there faster. It's also warming it up. 11 and 11, so that's 22, and that's 30. Now, when I had done the original phase change for the cryo temps, once the heat exchange rate matches up between the two, that's when I know that the system has stabilized. I'm not entirely sure if I need one or two evaporation chambers. That's why I have the second one over here. It's just off at the time being. Right now I see 1.4 megapascals of pressure, which means that the system is slowing down. I got to keep an eye on these pipes, mostly because I don't want any condensation happening, and 1.4 is enough for a lot of stuff to begin condensing. That's still cooling down. That's good. Let's move you up to 3.8. I have got to get all of that ozone to stop doing what it's doing. Ugh. That's because I gotta go higher than that. Let's do 4. I might actually need more condensation chambers. More volume as well. Pause. Am I hearing something? Yeah, that is a lot of ozone. So one of the things I know more pipe volume here will encourage more of it to come out. I like to try to keep things balanced so that I can kind of see how things go. But if I have more pipe volume here, that's going to encourage more of it to flow out. So you see now this is starting to build up, which should allow these to start reducing in the amount of gas that they have. I mean, I say should, but it's probably not. You still got too much. Am I out of helium? Oh no. It. How did I screw this up? I'm pumping ozone and helium. How did I screw that up? How did I screw that up? This should be pure helium. All right, let's clear out the helium, the tainted helium. Can't believe that. Ah! Stop it! I just want to lay down some pipes. Are you done yet? Okay, good. I can't believe I was actually putting in both ozone and helium. It was in minor quantities. I don't think it would have affected things too much, but I'm trying to get this thing to stabilize and do things. Wrong thing. All right, got my helium. I don't know how that happened. All right, pure helium this time. There we go. All right, good. I'm starting to get most of the keep most of the ozone as liquids now. Well, most of it. The hydrogen is negative 120. When does hydrogen begin condensing at? Hydrogen begins condensing at negative 203. I'm still a ways to go. That's negative 203 at that's at the max temp. You know what? Maybe I should bump this up to 5 megapascals. There we go. Okay, were we still not Okay, good. We're condensing the last little remnants of ozone there. Now that's starting to condense. Good, good. And we are at negative 50. Good job, Silanol. Silanol's doing really good. I'm actually impressed with it. It's a pain in the butt to get right, though. It really does need it does need something to keep it pressurized. But this is the Venus side of things. I think it would be much simpler if I was working from 20 Celsius and work down for the ozone, because then I'd be able to get lower. Because right now the system is relatively balanced, so I'm at 34 roughly. So yeah, I'm practically balanced. All right. Most of the ozone is going to stay as a liquid now. That should improve everything. All right. I hope they one day have some high pressure liquid pipe. Yeah, I would like that too. I do think that I had a straight pipe somewhere, or maybe I had some memory. I don't. Is it possible that the portable connect tank connector remembered that I had the ozone here originally, and then just evaporated some helium in there? I wonder if I did something. Or maybe it was because I forgot to remove the liquid pipe before I connected the helium. I did something wrong. That's the interesting part about this game. You can do wrong, and you can usually find out where you did it wrong at. Wow, that's almost filled. I wonder if I remove this load, because right now the load is there's hydrogen in there. Maybe I shouldn't have done a large amount of hydrogen. I'm getting impatient. Let's remove the extra pipe volume. Getting impatient. I want to see this because I forgot this is a lot. This is where my pipe volume is at. I want to see this get lower. So it's still the same amount of gas. Should be getting lower, actually. If I really, really want to see, I can do that. I never connected that. That would have been a problem. Oh yeah, I did. 580 moles. That is not very fast rate right there. Yeah, okay. Ozone is very, very limited. So I'm from -107 to -49. Let's see what we're exchanging. 14 moles. What was the math? 14 moles. Yeah, that's really, really bad. I need more counterflows probably. That always help things. Also probably doesn't help that I'm still pressurizing that with helium. I think that was probably hurting because I'm pushing in 20 Celsius helium to keep these pipes pressurized. And I should have just left them alone. No, it's still slow. Wow, that is slow. What if I turn on the other one? Well, that'll improve. Well, that will kind of improve it. Eesh. All right, ozone will take a lot of work apparently. Okay, so it's starting to seem like ozone is one of those things that while we could make it go from the top end to the bottom, it does seem very, very, very heavily limited by the fact that ozone sucks as a refrigerant. I'm using 2 evaporation chambers, both of them with enough liquids to be able to do the job. But I think actually that second one is winning the liquids war. This is 2 and Now that this one is negative. That's... Am I actually removing so much from that that it's negative? Hmm. Oh, yep. You see, that's a problem right there. Condensation's happening. All right. Condensation in my gas pipes. That's a problem. That means I need another condensation chamber. Until I can get that. Just gonna add more pipe volume. So the pipe volume is gonna discourage condensation from happening. But the main problem was that I connected a second evaporation chamber. So let's just reconnect you back. That's gonna warm this all up. Just gonna... That should hopefully help that out a bit. But I need another condensation chamber. That's I kind of had a feeling I would need another one. Phase change device. I just was not actively prepared for it. Okay. Another condensation chamber. Could have done a 3 there. Connect liquid pipes. That way it can export. And I need a lot of gas pipes. This is kind of where you get to the whole point where turbo volume pumps actually will tend to work better, but if you want to sacrifice power for that, they are actually probably the only thing that will really work well. Okay, and then everything's connected. Okay. That should take out, hopefully take out the excess pressure. Or start removing the excess pressure. Yeah, it's starting to. Look at all of the phase changes happening. That's terrible. Liquids condensing in my gas pipe. Don't want that at all. Just no. None of that. None of that at all. That's a problem. And that's going to happen with the cryo end because when you start to get really cold, you don't need as much. This is what makes tuning the cryo really, really difficult if you want to do a single system. Can I quickly... Yeah, I agree. Double up and parallelize. Oh, I really don't like parallelizing these things. It's such a complex solution. And all right. So Dingleberg, been struggling with Venus Phase Change. So to go over what we've gone. So this is a good recap time while I wait for that to stabilize. This was the original test bench right there. This system right there. Sync two stage. It's all Silanol. It's pressurized. Well, Silanol with the liquid pipes pressurized with helium to prevent parasitic phase change. I try to see how well of a load it could do. Right now we have one single radiator load, so that's 2.57 kilojoules, and the system has stalled out at 240. I have this set to try to get as cold as possible. So yeah, that's my test bench. And I see that my major problem is I have gases collecting. Now, so to make the system better, I doubled up and had an extra condensation chamber. So I have two condensation chambers. That way my gas pipe system will be better. Same thing. Oh, that's actually 18%. Could I wire it up? Yes. Does this get me doing something? Also, yes. So, in short, this is a Silanol phase change heat pump system. Literally, this system, I marked it red and blue. So there's my red. There's, well, I lost my blue paint. I have found my blue paint. So red and blue. So that's the hot side. That's the cold side. So at the start of the stream, basically, I did the same thing here, except I had a convection radiator as the load over here so that I can kind of gauge to see how it was doing. The goal was to get it down to room temperature with the system cranked up to full because I was preparing it to be able to handle ozone next. Uh, in short, condensation chambers, evaporation chamber, a whole lot of counterflows, and I guess that's the short end. Uh, there's a lot of minutiae with phase change. Like for example, the condensation chamber side is quite literally an I don't know why it's an insulated tank. Why did I build an insulated tank here? It's Venus. It doesn't. Anyways, it's just quite literally a tank with a pipe cowl, and that's just to keep the chambers cold. So they're at roughly 470. They're pushing out roughly. Oh, I need more. I need more helium in here. They're roughly pushing out 470 Celsius liquids and coming out to the evaporation chamber, which is, are you serious? You're at negative 82? Awesome. That explains why that's low pressure now. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. And so basically the evaporation chamber is evaporating the Silanol, cooling down this side, which originally had that pipe radiator as a load. And you know, it all cycles back. And this is a testing. Just ignore this thing. It was a test that I actually it's something that I wanted to try, see if I can make it work better. But yeah, in short, it requires Silanol. You could, unfortunately for Venus, Silanol is the only thing that works with Venusian temps. And then pretty much the rest of this system was an attempt to remove all sorts of parasitic phase change that's happening. And in this case, these liquids evaporating is bad. I don't want that. Oh wow, that's actually also cooling down a lot. That's a lot of parasitics everywhere. Let's fix the Silanol over here first. I'm not sure that'll help, but overall, the main purpose of the system is to try to get as much cooling done with as minimum power input as possible. So in a sense, the Silanol phase change is 150 watts total. Once it's all said and done, because this is only there to pressurize. Once all this stays as a liquid, I'm good and happy with it. Now I'm trying to work with ozone, and that's actually rougher. It's rougher to work with the ozone because it's getting there, but it's yeah, it's tougher. All right, so the helium should be, that's almost fully pressurized. Let's get this all set up. And so it's just expanding on the system, making pretty much doing the same thing. Let's see. I can probably explain that a little bit better with as needed. The hard part is putting it into. Most of the times, I don't know what somebody may or may not know. Makes it hard for me to explain how to make it work. But in short, condensation chambers, for hot end, evaporation chamber for cold end, a bunch of counterflows in between, eliminate phase change except at where the chambers are. That's typically the goal of the phase change system to make it work really effectively. And I'm having condensation occur because it's cooling down. So I need 3 megapascals here. Oh, I still got more parasitics. I need another condensation chamber. Drat. Yeah, I can't believe how much I'm gonna need a pair. Okay, you know what? Before I add the helium in here, I gotta get rid of all of the parasitics that's happening on the gas line. The volume is a temporary measure. Again, it's not something I should rely on. So let's see. Now we're at Oh, that is so off center. Now, I guess one of the things is, have you ever looked at the active vents for condensation? Yeah, they are crazy efficient. Uh, I think when I explored with that, it was the real world cryo grid cooling thing. There was a video posted about using a real world grid for cryo cooling. That's when I used the active vents, and yeah, they are crazy good. Because the main reason they are so good is that unlike a turbo volume pump, which is limited by the input pipe pressure, active vents pull a specific. They try to pull a specific amount of pressure. Um, and because they try to pull a specific amount of moles to fill in a pressure, they don't throttle this. So you know, I think room temperature is about 40 moles for an active vent, 30 to 40 moles. So just one active vent running for 100 watts can empty this out in what, 4 ticks, assuming there was nothing else going on. All right, now this one's condensing again. Where am I at on this? Still having condensation. Okay, good. That's going down. Lowered the condensation. That should improve the efficiency of everything. That's at 4 liters. Oh wow. Oh, right, because I'm now having condensation happening here too, because I need more helium. Need to get it back up. So let's get the helium in there. You can spend a long time trying to get these systems perfected and working, and I guarantee you that if I put what is it called? A convection radiator on the hydrogen end, I'd crash everything and make it all go bad. Let's see. Here. Let's get the pressure valve back in there. What is my cat doing? I swear every time. I think she's just telling me this, like, yeah, it's 11:30. Yeah. I think I'm gonna wrap up in 30 minutes. I really, really would like for that to actually make some. I'd like to see some cryogenic hydrogen come about. But I guess the problem is It's at 168. When does hydrogen condense? 203. That's getting close. All right. I need to. Let's get you to. This is gonna make things worse for a while. 2.6. Because I'm introducing some really, really hot helium. But this should hopefully get most of this ozone. Ozone. Wow. Did I just. Wow. accent just got me. Ozone condensing, that should hopefully allow these to fill up a bit more. Ugh. It really doesn't seem like there's a huge heat load. I mean, I know it's saying 2.7, 2.8, so that's what, 5 kilojoules barely. That's really rough. But I guess when I look at the condensation side, wow, that's negative 100. Condensation side, I'm 8, 16, 24, 26. Oh, good. That pipe network's empty. That's good. I think I've finally got that stabilized ish. Probably could use a parallel system. Yeah, ozone is. I think if I had to do this again, I might do another system. I might do something different. But what is it? From hydrogen, then there's ozone, and then what's this? The middle ground there. The best one would be oxygen, if I remember right. Yeah, because they said they can go down to oxygen. Oxygen is close to the latent heat of ozone. If I do that math, it's what, 800 divided by 21.1 is 37, 38. Wow, oxygen is better. The only problem is that it just barely touches Silanol, so that's the not better part. Which kind of leads to methane. Methane is actually really good. So yeah, well, where am I at with Silanol? Silanol is negative 70 to negative 120. That's still kind of on the upper end. I feel like there needs to be an extra stage in between this to kind of help the energy transfer out a little bit better. So the Silanol is still cooling down. The ozone is still doing its job. All right, so no more gaseous ozone, so that means most of it is in liquid phase. It's at negative 173. I think it actually will get there. I think now it's just a matter of timing, waiting for it to. All right, let's stop pumping in helium. I don't think I need it anymore. Keep checking on my pipes. I guess while we're waiting for this is a good time for questions, comments, or emotional outbursts. Yeah, time zone I'm at is 11:30. I was planning on going until noon. Again, this is basically my system. No real safeties whatsoever. Ignore this. I only did that because I attached some things and I was gonna lose the pipe system due to what I did. It's normal. It happens. If you see fire in the background, that's normal. I can't believe this got to negative 100 Celsius. It's still cooling down. What am I doing for condensation? 6. So what? 7, 14, 18? No, 21, 23. Okay, so wow, I'm actually. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of the point that I knew was going to be where things got a little bit more difficult for the cooling side of things. And that's because the ozone here is negative 150. Okay. The ozone here is negative 154. It's got a 20 Celsius delta, almost a 30 Celsius delta. So best that means it can go down to negative 180. So this is pulling its load, trying to get down to negative 180, and evaporating, cooling this down. And honestly, the biggest annoyances with the cryo cooling is preventing the parasitic condensation in your gas pipe networks. It's really the biggest pain in the butt when you're getting down colder and colder and colder. Like that hydrogen is probably not going to condense anytime soon. I guess if I can just remove that. It might encourage it to condense faster because there'll be less of it. So it's a negative. You know what? I forgot a pipe analyzer. It'd be easier to look at that than just constantly poking at that. Well, pipe analyzer. There's also the pipe gauges, which I forget exist. Also, when you hover over them, you can see the temperature. The gauge. Wait, what is it called? Pipe? It says something. I thought it was a gauge. Hold on, what is it called now? I'm pretty sure it was a gauge. No, meter. Pipe meter. That's what I needed. Pipe meter. Eventually comes to me. Because I could just slap that on there and I'll be able to look at it and see a little bit better. Oh, look at that. It's a 92 Kelvin, getting colder. I might as well just connect the I do need to put the meters. I forget they exist. It really would help because I mean it's the same thing, just except that I don't get the ratio of whatever is in there. When does hydrogen condense? Again, hydrogen condenses at 70.1. Ah, we're almost there. It's like another 20 degrees to go. Why are the heat exchangers outside? Won't they grab Venus temperature? Are you referring to the phase change devices or the counterflows? The counterflows will not. The phase change devices will, which is a valid point. Because yeah, it is kind of a problem as well, slight problem because I am adding an extra 250 joules of energy here on the condensation side. On the hot side, I'm releasing 3 of them because it is a little hotter than Venus. Um, if yeah, that is a good point. If I have these in a vacuum, that's at least 240 joules. I wouldn't be fighting on everything. Wow, 250, 24. That's 1,000. Yeah, that's actually pretty. Yeah, that is a good point. That's an extra 1.5 kilojoules of energy that I'm fighting here. I mean, I know the system can handle it. Oh god, condensation again. Ugh. Really hate just how much pipe volume I need to prevent that. You know what? Like I'm at the point that I think I might as well just have like whatchamacallit, just literal tanks. Just maybe I should have just done that. Just put an insulated tank at the junction of all of these just to prevent condensation from occurring here. Oh wow, this is getting down to 41. What about you? Good, no more condensation. I solved that problem temporarily. So much. Okay, so hydrogen of 5 megapascals is negative 206. So 68. Really? 2-degree difference. Well, that explains. That's a really tight change. You mean the blue? Okay, the blue counterflows. Yeah, that they don't have an internal volume. They shouldn't add any extra energy from Venus, so they're fine being outside. It's only the I guess in this case the phase change devices are the only thing that are adding extra energy. And it's actually kind of a slight problem technically for the cryo cooling because I wonder if I should just actually vacuum out that little area. Just vacuum make a literal wall, vacuum it out, and just leave them. I wonder how much of an improvement that would do. But then I have to make an airlock. Ugh, face change. It's a hurry up and wait. That's a good 20-degree difference right there. Oh man, I'm getting down to the literal small joules of energy movement. That's like almost nothing. That's crazy. So while ozone can get down there, what if I put you at 0? That barely changes. Makes sense. I think if I had more counterflows, this would be a lot better. I think the only reason it's getting down that low, so from negative 113 down to 166, that's roughly a 50-degree difference. That's a 50-degree jump. Uh, oh, phone call. Oh boy. I'll be right back. Okay. So that was my mother-in-law. Okay, gotta go well, I gotta leave soon. Are you not there yet? No, you're not gonna be there. You're not gonna get there. Ugh, okay, well, sadly, that did not make it to the cold temps. I think part of it is ozone sucks at what it does. So this is a good wrap up. Any questions, comments, emotional outbursts? I'll see if I can answer them. Oh man, that's a huge amount of. Yeah, I think probably what would have helped this system, this would have been if I got a parallel system of counterflows. Maybe I'll keep this save so that I can try to see how to effectively do that because this is that's a lot. That's a lot of gas flowing. I think I'm really cutting into the exchange rate because of that. And while this is a 198, it's the colder it goes, the harder it gets to do anything. I think that probably the only other major benefit I can do is get these chambers in a vacuum, and that should improve the rate even more. Um, all right, so overall, Silanol works really well getting down to room temperature in Venus, just from Venusian atmo to here. And I think at this point, the whole reason this system is getting colder and colder is I think because the Silanol is quite literally making the hot side cold. I mean, I'm going from negative 120 down to a negative 200. I got 10 counterflows attempting to do the swap, and that's really rough. I think that's kind of the main problem that I'm having here. The only reason this got down that cold is because the Silanol is pulling a lot of the work. Hello, kitty. Um, Actually, if I were to seal this in a frame, would that count as would that count as okay, will that count as a vacuum? Can I still uh I don't think so. Can I poke my head at you? Well, hold on. Wall, if I were to put walls around that frame, I think I can. It should be a vacuum theoretically. This is the only thing I can think of that could maybe get improve the rates. Because if I were to just seal them up in a frame, that would work. Ugh. Phone call again. Okay. Do. All right, 1 second. All right, so that's a good wrap-up point. Let's see. I think I can poke my head in and wait. What did I put there? Yeah, it's a steel frame.
Suit
Oh,
damage.
okay.
Toxin detected.
Yeah.
Critical.
Why did that hurt me? It's a good thing this is creative mode. I'd be killing myself otherwise. So why did that kill me? Did I just like somehow clip myself through? I just want to see that. So it's still convecting, but it's not radiating. So I don't know. I don't know if I got better or not just doing that. Hold on. Yeah, there's stuff in there. There's stuff in the room. Did it just like see? This is kind of why I don't like the whole frame pressurized thing because or use the frame to depressurize stuff because it just doesn't seem to work. It just sometimes it just doesn't feel like it works. Get out of there. But I want to say that worked better. Kind of wish I could see what's going on inside the device. It's negative 203, so that's better. Yeah, it's actually it got colder. I want to say that maybe doing that actually did help. I can't see what's going on in there though, but maybe it did help. All right, let's not what I wanted to do for a test. uh, yeah, it's the I had frames. What did I do with them? I just need to do a cleanup. Yeah, I really do think that the ozone being that The ozone being cold due to the Silanol is what's causing it to work really well. Where am I at on that? So Silanol and ozone. Yeah, so the Silanol is getting down to here. If the Silanol can get down to here, then the ozone has a small leg. So I guess I can see that working. But I would recommend, at this point, I would recommend having a Silanol get down to room temperatures on Venus. Then from room temperatures, use Silanol again to get down to as cold as possible for the ozone. And then from there, the ozone can get down to literally liquid hydrogen. And the way I have this stuff, it's just not going to be easy for me to. Ugh. It's condensing! It's condensing! We did it! We have liquid hydrogen. All right, success. Stream success. Yeah. All right. I'd like to thank Amy for not existing in this save, and she is driving me crazy in Mimus. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. So yeah. All right. So with that, I think I'm gonna save this. I don't mind uploading this to the workshop. I don't even know if the workshop even works for this stuff like that. You can use this as kind of like a test bench for looking at what the world I did and what is going on. Having something that kind of works, and emphasis on kind of works, because I don't think I made the ozone work. I think I think it's the Silanol that was working that's pulling all the weights. Yeah, I think the Silanol was doing all the work, to be honest. So yeah. Wait. Oh, that ran out of battery. That ran out of power, didn't it? Yeah. Wow, I can't believe that actually ran out of power. Okay. No. There we go. Get everything going again. This is, yeah, I got parasitics again. All right, so um thank you for your time. Thank you for joining, asking questions, picking my brain, I guess. Um I hope they help. Um, I will basically continue Mimus. I do gotta get some stuff on the rocketry avionics. I want to get that squared away. Any more phase change related stuff, I will keep expanding on it. Again, this is just I always say that the system I make here for the phase change is essentially the quote starter system, just making it work. Clearly, if you want to improve on the system, make it better, feel free, go right ahead. Use this as a starting point, because again, I have like literally zero safeties on the Silanol system. The one time I almost broke a pipe was because I did something and screwed things up, and that's when I had to get the purge valve to fix things. But most of the times I make my system the mentality that I'm not going to put a crazy load on it, mostly to get it working, make it work progressively. Because I mean, it's been.
Waste tank caution.
Thank you for the waste tank caution. It's been roughly a 3-hour stream of me waiting for these temps to cook or cool. So yeah, again, hope to see you later. I will keep working. As hopefully, Amy will not drive me insane on my mess. Spoilers. So unfortunately, I think I'm not at that point yet on what I've uploaded, but Amy is driving me crazy. All right. Have a good day. Any more questions, comments? What is it? Looks at paper. Like and subscribe. Look, I do this for teaching. I don't mind. I hate that the algorithm does that. I try not to have too many ads. So yeah. Do what you must. I am not asking for money support. I sadly work a 8 to 5 job that supports me. So again, I just do this as a hobby and to help people. So have a good day and goodbye.